For Pacifica Radio, I'm Christina Onnested. Nationwide protests against the Trump administration. Some more than 1 million people attend. More than 1,300 protests across the country, according to organizers of the Hands Off 2025 actions and what would be the largest show against Donald Trump's presidency so far. Thousands of people rallied in major cities like the nation's capital, where elected Democrats were among the speakers, including Maxwell Frost of Florida and Ilhan Omar of Minnesota.
Their movement is run by fear, trying to push us against one another. They would have our people believe that the reasons we can't afford rent, the reason we can't afford health care, the reason we can't afford groceries is because of other people in our own communities.
We are currently living through a president who wants to be a dictator. In America, we do not accept dictators and we do not accept kings.
Tens of thousands rallied in major cities like Salt Lake City, Chicago, Portland, Seattle, and here in communities across the San Francisco Bay Area. Jay May, Tyler, and Tina were among the San Francisco protesters Saturday.
I'm here to show up in solidarity with all the people who are being oppressed by the current administration.
They're not cutting government spending, they're cutting oversight. They're cutting the watchdogs, they're cutting the auditors. They're making it easier for crooks and the oligarchs to take over our government. They're not actually trying to improve anything. They're trying to dismantle our government and sell it to the highest bidder.
I'm here to protest the current administration and tell them to keep their hands off of our social services and our rights.
Protests also took place globally in London, Paris, Lisbon, Amsterdam. At the nation's capital, another rally took place against the war in Gaza, calling for a U.S. arms embargo to Israel and for the Trump administration to stop its attack on the free speech of foreign students. Thousands marched on the nation's capital. Elijah attends the University of South Alabama, and Laura Chua, president of MIT Graduate Student Union, both made the trek to D.C. and spoke to the People's Dispatch.
Showing solidarity for Palestine, the students who have been unlawfully detained by ICE, and showing solidarity with the people of Palestine and the Palestinian resistance who are fighting against apartheid and occupation right now.
It is incredibly critical right now for labor to stand up for all the attacks that are happening around political speech related to Palestine. We know as labor, an injury to one is an injury to all, and now is not the time for people to go hide and retreat in fear, but we really need to defeat these attacks decisively so that Trump doesn't feel emboldened to pick us off one by one and creep into other organizing efforts.
President Trump, meanwhile, meets with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today. He arrived in the U.S. this weekend despite an arrest warrant for war crimes in Gaza by the International Criminal Court. Israel launched airstrikes in Gaza that killed at least 36 Palestinians over the last 24 hours. Hospital officials in Palestine say Israel hit a media tent outside a hospital in the Gaza Strip city of Khan Yunis, killing 2 people, including a local reporter, and wounding 6 other journalists. The Israeli military said the strike targeted a man it said was a Hamas militant posing as a journalist. Medics say 28 others were killed in separate airstrikes. Israel's dramatically expanded its footprint in Gaza since relaunching its attacks against Hamas last month. It's now controlling more than 50% of the Gaza territory and is squeezing Palestinians into shrinking parcels of land. Senate Republicans passed multi-trillion-dollar tax breaks and spending cuts framework early Saturday on a vote of 51 to 48, with all Democrats opposed and with 2 GOP senators joining Democrats in opposition, Susan Collins of Maine and Rand Paul of Kentucky, who on the Senate floor said he supports cutting wasteful spending and fraud. But
the resolution before us will increase the debt by $5 trillion. So which is it? Are we cutting spending or are we expanding the debt? If we expand the debt at $5 trillion, that will be an expansion of the debt equal to or exceeding everything that happened in the Biden years.
The vote comes as the U.S. economy is on shaky ground after President Trump's vast tariff scheme, which continues to send stocks plummeting. With a nod from Trump, GOP leaders held on, determined to march ahead. Trump wrote on social media, "Only the weak will fail." Here's Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer.
Donald Trump has betrayed the American people. Tonight, Senate Republicans joined him in that betrayal. In voting for this bill, Senate Republicans sided with billionaires against the middle class in total obeisance to Donald Trump.
Approval paves the way for Republicans in the months ahead to try to power a tax cut bill through both chambers of Congress. Rivers rose and flooding worsened across the U.S. South and Midwest, threatening communities already waterlogged from torrential rains and storms that killed at least 18 people. Flooding took place from Texas to Ohio. I'm Christina Onnested, reporting for Pacifica Radio.